Thank you. It's an honor to be here tonight. First off, congratulations to my fellow inductees. I know for me personally, the older I get, the better I was. And so by that logic, I am clearly the least successful of the group, but still an honor to be here and a part of that group. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee and everyone that made this weekend possible. It's truly been so much fun to be a part of this. I have a lot of people to thank. I think I, of course, have to start with the community of Sauk Center. I think everyone from the fans to the Sauk Herald, Mid-Minnesota Sports, sports boosters, the janitors, the volunteers, everybody who made game nights possible. Truly, you guys created just the coolest environment to be a streeter athlete, and I did not take that for granted. A lot of times when I think about the community of Sauk Center and the support we got, I think about my senior year when we made it to the state tournament. As we were leaving on the bus to go down to Minneapolis to compete, we drove under a sign that said, "Last one to leave town, turn off the lights." And truly, that's how it felt. The whole community was there supporting us and really took it from, a group of kids playing a game to, a group of kids representing a community. And truly, it was an honor to represent Sauk Center. When I thought about, myself being inducted into the Hall of Fame, a quote came to mind, and it goes, "If I've seen further, it is only by standing on the shoulders of giants." And certainly that applies to my entire support system, but especially my teammates and my coaches that I had at Sauk Center. First off, my teammates, I came through Sauk Center at a time when there was so much talent, especially on the girls' side of things. So certainly my fellow state champion runners on that relay team, all the way to my basketball and volleyball teammates, I certainly would not have been as successful as an athlete, and I certainly would not have nearly as many great memories as I have without them. I'm a little biased, but I had the absolute honor of competing for some of the best coaches in the state of Minnesota. Coach Klopacki, of course, our newest state champion, Coach Bergman, Coach Trutna, and Coach Werman were all my varsity coaches. But as we all know, the success of an athlete and a program starts long before the varsity years. And so truly, to all of my coaches I had through elementary school, junior high, JV, thank you to all of you. Thank you for the time you invested in me and the lessons you taught me. It's really special for me to be part of the same class as Coach Trutna. He was always filled with a lot of sage advice. I think my favorite of which was when he would advise us, in order to run fast, you have to run fast. So truly so much wisdom we got from him. But I think, really, probably more than any other coach I've ever had, Coach Trutna believed in me, period. No, nothing else, just believed in my ability, and especially towards the end of my career as a kid who was putting a whole lot of pressure on herself to be the best, that truly meant the world. So thank you, Coach Trutna, and congratulations to you. Last but not least is, of course, my family. I got my competitive edge trying to keep up with my older brothers. Certainly the success of all of my siblings drove me in my athletic career. But as I was starting to come into my varsity years, my older brother Grant was named to the All-American team for football in college. My older brother Zach was competing in 2 sports in college. Certainly after my time, my younger sister Macy set several records, and my younger brother Simon still holds a couple of records in football. So even well before they actually achieved those things, their natural talent was obvious, and all of that just pushed me to work harder and be better. So thank you to my siblings, and of course to my parents. I don't have time to sufficiently thank them for everything they did for me, but I'll maybe leave it at this. My parents taught us that we could do anything if we worked hard enough, and they really pushed us to go out there and get after it. Of course, oftentimes out there was the barn, and anything was chores. But nonetheless, thank you, Mom and Dad. That confidence and that work ethic you instilled in me has been invaluable in my life. I think lastly, as I've reflected on my time in Sac Center and what it has meant to me in my life, certainly there are a lot of things from my time as an athlete that still impact me to this day. For example, I'm still not entirely comfortable standing with my hands at my sides because Coach Bergman would make us run for that if we weren't ready to catch the ball. I cannot watch Miracle on Ice without thinking of Coach Klophockey's preseasons where we had to run killers again and again and again. But truly, as I think about what has impacted me most, it's that my time as a student athlete set me up to experience failure. I know that sounds weird, but I certainly hit the ball out of bounds in volleyball quite a few times. I definitely missed a lot of shots in basketball, and I even occasionally lost a few track races. But my teammates, my coaches, they encouraged me to get back up and get back after it. The community supported all of myself and my teammates through a bunch of little failures that we had over the years, and everyone really just encouraged us to keep going and keep moving forward. Resiliency, or mental toughness as it's often called in sports, is an incredibly challenging characteristic to develop, but one that has served me incredibly well in my life. It has taken me through my college track years where winning was definitely less common than it was in high school. It took me through grad school where straight A's were hard to come by, and most recently, in these last couple of years of a global pandemic where things have constantly been challenging and changing, it certainly served me well. There's no doubt to me that that was developed here in Sac Center in my time as a streeter athlete. So just in closing, thank you, Sac Center. It's been an honor to represent this city, and I am so proud to forever be able to say that I'm a Main Streeter. Thank you.
All right, another member of the 2022 class, the Hall of Fame class, Savana Weller. Savana, how are you?
I am great, and I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Yes, I just talked to Coach Trutton, and I said, when the AD, Scott Bergman, called you and said, Savana, what did he say, and what was your reaction to that?
He let me know that I'd been selected to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and honestly, it did not hit me. I couldn't comprehend that. I actually think it was about a month before my wedding this summer, too, and so it just kind of went right over my head. But in the last couple months, as I've been, looking back on high school and preparing to come here and hearing from members of the community, it's really kind of sunk in what a cool honor this is, and truly how many great athletes came through Sac Center, especially during my time. So huge honor to be here. Yeah,
I just want to review a few things, and hopefully you'll forgive me here as I look back at the years and not realizing. I look at you or some of the other athletes, it's like, you just got out of high school, didn't you?
See, that's what I thought, too. I was like, I can't have been out that long yet, but it's been about 11 and a half years now. So.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we feel older now. Thank you. So what year did you graduate?
2010.
Okay, and tell us, what activities were you in?
Yeah, so I was probably best known for my time in track, but certainly played a big role in volleyball and basketball as well.
Let's go through your family, too, because I want to touch on that. Tell us about Mom and Dad and your whole family.
Yeah, so my parents, Jim and Jackie, raised us on a family-owned and operated dairy farm. We all had to help out and work hard. Certainly my two older brothers, just incredible athletes and academic students, set the bar really high for us right away. And then my younger siblings, Macy and Simon, probably don't need too much of an introduction here in Sac Center, but they were both great athletes for the Streeters and also really strong academic students as well. So
what are you doing for work right now?
So I am an actuary. I work for a consulting firm in the Minneapolis area. So we work with, kind of big Fortune 500 companies and help them budget for primarily their health plans is a lot of what I do.
Is it fair to say the Weller family is good at math?
Yes, that is very fair to say.
Because just go through that, and where does that come from?
I really don't know. I don't know if it's just the logic part of it, and, we had some experience trying to logic and argue with my parents to get out of chores. I don't know if that's what got us there. but for some reason, we were just all drawn to numbers.
Yeah, because your brothers are doing this, right?
Yeah, my 2 older brothers have their PhDs in statistics. Simon's working on his as well, and Macy's actually working on her PhD in accounting. So I'm the only PhD-less student or Weller kid out there. But
so back in your high school days then, talking about math, did you find some inspiration from any teacher? And I'm going to clue you right now, you better say Brian Olson.
Man, I had a lot of great teachers, and especially in the math department. And, Coach Bergman as well, Coach Werman, they were my math teachers too. I think all of those people really did a great job of teaching us and keeping us interested in the class and the materials, and that, was huge for us too.
I think a theme too with all these athletes, just knowing mom and dad and knowing your mom and dad through the years, and maybe you have a different perspective as you're older now, because back when you were just a kid, you were a kid, and you just kind of lived your life. But as you look back on it now, how influential were they with you and all your brothers and sisters?
Oh my gosh, I said this in the Herald article too, but just they really pushed us and really wanted us to work hard and got that work ethic in us. It wasn't so fun back then, but truly something I'm so grateful now looking back on as an adult. It's had such a huge impact in who I am today.
And being a 3-sport athlete, and again being on the farm, that's not easy because a lot of kids don't get to do that, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of expectations. We really had to learn to manage our time. We were expected to, if there was a game, we had to go home first and do chores if there was time, or if we had practice, we had to do chores when we got home. So definitely a lot of lessons in time management there.
So again, as you mentioned, you're kind of well known for your track, and not only in high school but college too. So let's touch on the college first of all. Again, you're kind of bragging about yourself in a way, but hey, it's all good. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I went on to run college track at the University of North Dakota. I actually got dumped right into cross country. I'd never run it before. That was a very interesting experience for me. Did 1 season of that and then just felt it wasn't the right fit for me. But, 4 years of indoor and outdoor track, got to travel all over the country and compete. That was a lot of fun. Certainly not the same level of success in college as I had in high school, but I did reach a couple of school records, which was really cool for me.
Well, and then what about Sauk Center with the track? How did you do?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think I was looking back on it. So 8th grade, I went out thinking, I'll just stay in shape. I'll stay in shape for basketball and volleyball. And about halfway through the season, got moved up to varsity. And just maybe a month later, I was running at the state track meet, which was just really crazy. So kind of found my spot, found my events throughout the years, and was fortunate to advance to the state meet in 12 events and medal in all of those. So that was a lot of fun and a lot of success that we had as a team. And certainly we won state as a relay, so obviously couldn't have done that without some really incredibly talented teammates.
Yeah, can you name some and tell us who was on that team?
Yeah, so that state champion team was Kayla Belke, Elizabeth Hemsworth-Snyder, and Rebecca Macy-Peterson. So they're just some very talented athletes. If you look at the record board during that time, I think almost every current Sauk Center track and field record is from that 2008 to 2012 time period. So really fortunate to have such great teammates to push me in practice and help me in meets.
Yeah, I think back on some of those athletes, you could run. Man, you guys could run.
Yeah, we got second, I think, at the state true team meet too. So really a deep bench of athletes in that track and field program.
All right, I guess one more point to bring up. I keep on thinking about you and especially your sister growing up with those big bruising brothers who all played football and all that. What was it like playing a pickup basketball game in the driveway?
Oh, it was no mercy. It did not end without someone crying. I'm sure I got stuffed plenty of times, but it certainly taught me to be a stronger post player in basketball and helped me push around some of those bigger girls that I often had to guard.
So you're saying you made your brothers cry?
Exactly.
All right, good for you. Well, congratulations, Savana. This is an honor well deserved.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, good to see you again.
You too.
All right, that is Savana Weller.